Hey y'all. Hola, hola. Good afternoon, I look crazy. And y'all my cousins. I don't gotta worry about none of that. Y'all done seen me looking worse than this. So hello, everybody. I think I'm a little tired because I've been like processing chicken. And if you know the process of that, I don't buy boneless chicken. So, hey, sister, you was just on my mind right now. Um, I baby been cutting off bones. I'm so mad at myself. I was so tired last night when I went to sleep, y'all. I boiled the bones and made some bone broth and went to sleep and left it out overnight, and it smells so good. I'm so mad at myself. Like, I kept pouring it down till it got jelly like, right? Because you know that be making the best like gravy and stuff when you ain't got no whatever. You throw a little bit of that in there, gone and put it where it need to be. Had seasoned it up and everything, and went to sleep and forgot. I was trying to wait for it to cool so I could put it in the refrigerator. No, a whole big cast iron pot of it. I was so mad. I was not happy about that. Not happy. And then my jars didn't seal. I said, quit doing stuff. Did you ever get my email about your address at Tatna? What about it? You mean for the? I put the address because a couple people asked me. I'm sorry. I didn't even tell y'all. It's sister. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna apologize, but I put the address on Substack in the bio. I forgot to tell y'all I did that because a few people was asking me for the address, and I didn't get back to y'all. But I did take an action as soon as I saw the last question, and I put it over there. So I'm sorry. It's on Substack in the bio. Please forgive me. Yes, I'm sorry because you weren't the only person, and I was like, okay, like in a day or so, and I just it's when I saw it, I just put it over there. So it's been there in the bio for, I think since right after my birthday. I forgot, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am. I told myself I'm gonna go to Dollar Tree probably tomorrow. I'm getting a trash can for in here. I didn't use boxes, bags, everything. I'm getting a trash can. Yes. Well, you know what? I told myself, self, that's too much meat. But you know, we be trying to pack it in. I said, oh, it'll be fine. And then when I put them in there, I saw the air bubbles. I said, you probably should screw those down a little bit tighter. I said, no, it'll be fine because I was tired and ready to get done. Well, every time that God warns you about something and you don't listen, then you have to redo it. Period. So I just re-put them back in. I let them cool overnight, whatever. And then, but it worked out because 4 sealed and 4 didn't. So then I just did another 4 jars of the meat because I seasoned my meat yesterday. So it's been in the refrigerator all night getting that good old breakdown with a whole bunch of salt. And it's in there now. And I got one more pack of chicken. And then I'll be done with that. You said I was about to ask you to repeat that too. Got it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. The address is on set. Why was I talking about you and Nathan today? Sarabe. I told my brother about you today, and I told him about Nathan as well. And I told him about our story, how, yes, I sterilized my jars. That's why it's a long process, girl. Yes. Um, no, because my brother is in a different space in his walk now. You know how you know of Jesus and then you know Jesus? Anybody know that experience? You know of Jesus and then you know Jesus. Maybe some of you are in your knowing Jesus space right now. Well, he's walking into his. We've always been church kids. Our grandma was a pastor. My mom got saved at 17. So church was, we could do church with our eyes closed because we grew up in kind of church royalty, if you would call it that. So we could be hellions and we still knew how to do church. But he's in his space of knowing God now. And so I was telling him about some of the interactions that I've had in my life, and you actually came up, and I was telling him about when I first got, I was about to say pregnant. No, my daughter is pregnant. When I first got married, I started praying for a person, named Sarah. And I was telling him I didn't know nobody. I mean, I had a kid in school that I went to was named Sarah and whatever, a lady that went to our church, but it wasn't nobody in my life at that time that was named Sarah. And then I told him the story of not everything. I just told him that we end up meeting on TikTok. And I was telling these stories about certain times and dates that I would pray for this person named Sarah, and you recalled certain dates and times and things. And he was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Right." I said, "So you never know who you're interceding for." And then I reminded him of some things that we had experienced in our 20s, because he would call me like anything demon, anything extraterrestrial, anything that can't be explained to a normal person that you don't want to think is you're crazy. He would call me. Everybody do though. That's crazy. But they tell people I'm crazy, but then they call me when the crazy stuff happen. I guess because they feel like I'm crazy, so I'll just tell the crazy person. I really don't know. He said yes, and before and after WOIU. Okay. So, long story short, I was just telling him and reminding him about certain spiritual, right, about spiritual happenings in our lives and when we was kids and stuff, how God was setting the stage for what he wants him to do now. And I was able to use you as an example of sometimes you don't know who you're praying for. You don't gotta know. At that moment, that person might not be able to pray for themselves. So then you stand in as an intercessor to pray for a complete stranger. And then maybe if God sees fit, you'll actually get to run into that person like me and Sarah. You know what I mean? So how you praying for somebody you never met? You know what I mean? You never met them. And then God just so happens to do what he does. And so anyway, that was the conversation. So just know you're very special to my heart for a number of reasons. You are. You and Joe and that baby you have over there. You are. You all are a part of my story. So anyway, that was the conversation. Love our dad so much. Love you so much. I love you so much too. As a matter of fact, I was telling him that you had sent me the canned meat and stuff like that. Girl, listen. Y'all a bigger part of my life than y'all know. All of y'all. And what you all get to do is help me, I don't want to say prove to my family, because I don't have to prove nothing to them or the people around me, but you all fortify the things that I've been telling them for years. Does that make sense? Like when I tell them that people came here and they got healing and they're walking, and they, like I told my brother, I said, the living word is alive in WOIU. And then I explained how the word is alive to us because we are literally living the same situations. And if we follow the word, whatever happened for that person happens for us as well. Healing, financial, whatever it is. I said, and I didn't have to lay no hands and slap them and push them down. They came and they learned about God, which is the cure for every ailment you might have, and then their lives changed. Period. Now, everybody didn't stay. Everybody didn't walk with Jesus that he came in contact with. Some people came and got their food, their healing, and they went on about their life. And that doesn't mean that their life wasn't changed. It just means that at that moment, when they were in that space, whatever was needed, it was provided. And they can go on to their journey and do what they need to do. I found something. I said, well, that's interesting, so I'm going to download it. Did it download? You see it? You ready? Right. Be snotting and we all in different places in the world and feel like we right in the room together. You hear me? That was a part, so you just going to be... I said, brother, You remember when God used to have me just all over the United States? He said yes. I said, well, think about the places that God took me. A lot of times they were melting pots. So I met Russians, I met Czechoslovakians, Asians, Africans. Baby, I met all sorts of people. And I'm talking about straight off the boat, straight off the plane. I worked in daycare in downtown Phoenix. And um, I believe the lady that I worked for, she had some kind of arrangement with like CPS or whatever, because when people were refugees and different things like that, they would always send those kids to the daycare that I worked at. So we had people straight from the Congo, all different parts of the earth, and the babies wouldn't speak English, but mommy got to go to work. And so I had some other coworkers that were not sensitive to the fact that this child has no control, that they have come to a country and they can't speak the language, so they don't know how to tell you what's wrong with them. They're telling you, they're just not telling you in a language that you can understand. So I would get these babies, and I'm only 18. I would get these babies. I had my son, and this is right before I got pregnant with my daughter. I would put him in my lap, y'all, and I would either start to hum or speak very softly into their ear, and say shh, 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 it's okay. Okay, well, shh, shh, shh. All babies know that sound, right? And the vibration of my chest is going to start to calm them down. And I would pray and ask God to allow this baby to have peace in my in my mind. And the babies would come down a lot of, and I'm talking about up to 3-4 year olds. They would go to sleep. So I was telling my brother, I'm like, in all the places that I went, God allowed me to meet people from all around the world, whether it be in the daycare, at the jobs that I worked with all sorts of people. Told y'all I worked with Tiger Woods' brother in a collection agency, and just all different types of people that played NFL. I worked with all kinds of folks. And I didn't understand then that God was preparing me for this, because I've run into all sorts of people from all different backgrounds, from all different walks of life. And I feel like all of those different experiences that I had prepared me for this, so that I wasn't offensive to people from other countries or that had other religions, and so that, because you can't draw somebody if you're immediately offending them. Now I will bust you in your head with this word, and that don't have nothing to do with me, but as a person, you have to be mindful that if you put a person on block or whatever, I can't think of the word right now, y'all know, if you it'll come to me anyway. Menopause, it is what it is. Long story short, guard. If you put them on guard, then you won't be able to get anything in. You know what I'm saying? Like when you stand in your front door, you don't stand with your door wide open so a person can run in. Normally, you'll step in the door frame, so that way, especially if it's a person you don't know, they don't have access to your house. Well, when you're ministering, you need to be mindful of that, because the eyes and the ears and all of that are doorways to the house, and you want to get in there. If God has told you that you're supposed to go to this person and tell them something, or instruct them, or tell them about a dream, or whatever else it is, you got to be able to get in the door. And so if you're super offensive, probably not going to be able to deliver the message, right? Or no? Y'all feel me? Hmm? No. Okay. And our goal here is not just to make it to heaven. Our goal also, the main goal, is to go out and get the lost and to love them back to Christ, because that's why he said go into the world and preach the gospel and tell the good news and tell your testimonies and love on people. Right. So it's not just my goal is making it to heaven, which is wild. My goal is I want to make it to heaven, but I don't want nobody else to be lost either. That should be your goal for being a Christian or a person that follows the Savior of the whole world. It shouldn't just be I'm too focused on myself and trying to get, I'm not saying go tell everybody they wrong. I'm saying love them to Christ. Be kind, gentle, and all of those different understanding. and you might catch more fish in your spiritual basket than you ever caught in your life. You said nobody brings soup to a barbecue. Gotta have the right bait and an open hand to reach folks. Come on, Sarah Robbie. You said it. You said it. You heard me. Because folks be like, I'm just worried about I'm making sure I'm getting into heaven. Well, that's not all of the commandment. That's not all of the instruction. He said, once you get it, you need to go out and multiply it. And not just bringing people to church. Loving and teaching people about Christ in the way that he taught. Hey? And not the way that we want to teach. You hear me? Because you can't go at everybody the same way. Some people don't receive it. And then all of your words were pointless at that time. Because they didn't receive any of it. So how can it help them? How can medicine help you if you never apply it or take it? It can't. It's just there. You have access to it, but it didn't do you any good because you didn't use it. Right? So, that being said, look at this. In the loss, preaching the word up in Cali, they thinking I'm a 49. I'm calling for ball, cause I be shooting those spirits at the devil like I'm in the final. Huh? It's one more, wait a minute. I said, and he put it right on the caption too, look at, didn't even hide it. I said, this is interesting. Y'all see that? POV, bottle or a Bible, and not a Birkin bag. You see that? Do that make y'all feel happy? Huh? It make me feel happy. No, y'all don't feel the excitement of it all. Yeah, you're a real Christian rapper. Rich Dan Fam is what it's called. Rich Dan Fam. You said, or seen one of y'all hashtag books over Birkin. He could have seen the hashtag. I don't know. This part, Tatiana. Come on. Everybody be in class. And people used to think I was being prideful. No, I can see it. If we teach a class, we say a statement over here, we do something, and then all of a sudden it's all over the internet. I mean, what is that? We set a lot of trends over here, honey. It's a lot of folks with whiteboards and all kinds of stuff, teaching all kind of classes, free classes. First, folks was charging for everything. Now it's free everywhere. Free is for me. Hello. Folks are giving more, right? They doing a lot. Before it was give me all the money, give me all the money. Now you see a lot of people that take in, not saying there wasn't nobody doing it before, but y'all know the culture. When we came up here, hold on, because my water just dinged. Let me go see if it's boiling. Give me a second. Oh, yes, girl. See, talking with y'all is water everywhere. Again. Give me a second. Everywhere. Be a whole dang pool on stuff. All right, y'all. Multitasking. I cannot forget about that. Hey, hold on, y'all. Let me set this alarm for 4 hours. Mm, not tomorrow. Today. Y'all, I did not know. I don't know. The days be going by. What time is it? Oh, why do I keep being 7 o'clock? That is weird. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Hey, Rika. Last night it was like 7, and then when I started seeing that they weren't still, I was like, let me go a little bit longer. It keeps me at 7 o'clock, and for whatever reason, I keep being sleepy. Is anybody else sleepy, or is it just me? Is anybody else, or is it just crazy circle? Because maybe I've been exhausted these last couple days. I don't know if it's mental or what, but it's like I wake up feeling good, but by about this time, I be like ready to lay down and go to sleep. I just took some of that iron. You said I sure was before I got to work. I'm sleepy right now. I didn't go to bed at almost 4 this morning. I went to sleep. That's why I'm like, I don't even know. It's been the last 2 days. I was very sleepy yesterday and this morning. Okay. Tired. Okay. Maybe they putting something in the air or something. I did see the planes running around here. Ain't no telling, because, baby, I'm, I've been good. You said I'm just waking up from a nap. Ain't that something? You just gonna rub it in. I got it. Yeah. You said dang, I was yesterday. I'm like, oh boy, this chronic fatigue is kicking in, right? I'm like, wait a minute. I told you I've been taking the iron. I've been good. I'm like, my appetite definitely came back, baby. The one thing that iron gonna make you do is eat. I feel like I didn't sleep even though I was asleep. I slept good. I slept really good. Well, no, that's not true. I did sleep good, but I woke up like 4 times last night to go to the bathroom. I think I came in the kitchen for something. So I slept good because I put my oil on, but I was up. I had a hot flash, had to lay a towel down. That's one time I got up. So yeah, it was like 4 times. Like I had to get up and put the towel down and get the blow dryer and all that old. You said I was thinking that I had my windows open in my bedroom and in my bathroom, and I didn't want to go to sleep with my windows open, but you was up, like a different kind of heaviness. Yeah, I did. That's crazy because before I went to sleep, I laid in the bed with no lights on or nothing and just talked to God. That's yeah. And then I had to get up and put that oil on because if I would have kept doing that, I wouldn't have went to sleep. I was just thanking and thanking some more. So yeah. All right. So it wasn't just me. You said I was about to take a nap when I got alert for class, Auntie. So it's not. I'm not saying I'm happy y'all tired, but I've been thinking like, what the heck? Because I've been taking the iron, right? And it does help with my energy levels. But also, it's just like something, it feels like something is kind of like sitting on my shoulders a little bit. Like maybe the bariatric pressure is different. You said I was thinking of, you said I woke up around 3 something, switched from the top of the bed to the bottom of the bed to see what that would help. Girl, so maybe it's spiritual energy. I was telling my friend about the fatigue I was having when I first got out of the Navy. Listen. Raise your hand if you know it's a lot going on right now, spiritually and carnally. You said, oh my God, the heavy shoulders and the neck pain. Yes. Yes. It feels like something is sitting on top of my head almost. Okay. So y'all see stuff is going on spiritually. Okay. You said that's how I've been fatigued but can't sleep. Okay. Get y'all some. I was just gonna say, while it's available, the brain fog. Yep. Y'all might want to go ahead and get a couple extra bottles of whatever oil you use to make your body oils, and then go on and get some lavender. right? Like the thing on the Grudge movie, sitting exactly. And I'm the reason I say that is this. You remember how they said the slaves used to give the babies a sedative so that they wouldn't make noise during certain times? Well, we not giving out no sedatives, but um, I think if you have to make an extra strength lavender oil or whatever oil you use for sleep, I think that's gonna be huge. You hear me? You said it's definitely spiritual. A lot of people have been fatigued. I've woken up around 2 to 3 in the afternoon due to the past few days. Yeah, it's real crazy. Baby, mamas with little kids, probably kids under 10, whatever the normal dosage of the drops is, you might want to make it a little bit more potent. And if you can make a good amount of it, I would. You hear me? No. You said we could be feeling the earth change because if you think about it, across all 50 states, we're experiencing weird weather. Yeah, I saw what's going on in Hawaii too. You said I woke up at 4 this morning and having these animated like dreams. I'm gonna get some more of that magnesium spray as well. Right. Just saw a lady with an aluminum net on. She said they attacking our dreams, taking them. Listen, I've been praying over myself. Okay. Can we? Let's do it. I downloaded some of them because y'all know how they be playing. So, y'all know this lady. The message to PrEP is now getting into mainstream media. If I could. The message to PrEP is now getting into mainstream media, if I can call it that. Government agencies are starting to send out lists of how to prep. Schools are starting to do the same. School professors are starting to talk about prepping. The prep schools are starting to do the same. Government agencies are starting to send out lists of how to prep. Schools are starting to do the same. School professors are starting to talk about prepping. This is not something to ignore. We're going to keep going. But what y'all think I'm about to say? Y'all know me well. We did talk about it, but what specifically in that short piece of that clip did we talk about? If anybody can remember, I want to see how well y'all know Yadim. What I'm about to say? Tell me. When they talk about it, it's already too late. It's something else too. Being prepared. If you hear it on the news, it's too late, but it's something with that. It's all of what y'all said. The professors, hurry up and get your stuff. Yeah. We talked about they were going to tell you while it was happening. While it was happening. They were going to tell you, they were only going to give you that information after it was already happening. Right? We talked about it, that the government would start when it was already, yes, too late, and yes, even before the news or whatever. In the middle of it is when they're going to tell you to prepare for it. Now that the war has already started, now that the economy has already basically plummeted, now we tell the people When everything is super expensive, when everything is, now we tell them. In every single movie that we watch together as a school, as a class, the VOG always waited until whatever it was that was going to kick off this traumatic or crazy event, they always waited until they were in the middle of it to tell people. So then people were running around like crazy, whether it be the flood, the volcanoes, it did not matter. You said like they want mass casualties. Okay.
It's not a whim. It's not uh, it's not something that's going to blow over. It's getting worse. Day by day, it's getting closer and closer that we are going to have to rely on what we prep. It's getting closer and closer that we are going to have to rely on what we prep. I used to say 90 days minimum. I'm now saying a year. All of a sudden, I switched to that this week. A year minimum, food and water for every member of...
Have you heard that before? How are people supposed to prep for a year of food and they can't even afford food for 7 days? They're using their credit cards right now to buy food. You think he let us in the boardroom? When people was asking me how much they should prep for all the way back in 22, I said I would try to get as close to about 2 years as you can. I mean, do what you can, 3 to 6 months. I would say for every single person, this is when we added up. If you need 4 meals per person, you need to decide on whether you are going to do 2 meals a day, like a brunch and a dinner, whatever it is. One big loaf of bread, you need to budget that out. Do you remember this? So you need to know if it's for y'all, if you need 120, or if you need, how much is you gonna need for this time. We talked about training our bodies to only eat 1 meal a day. We talked about really learning how to make bread, because bread was going to substitute, okay, the one pot meals. This is why we all went out and got our cast iron, so we could learn how to make pot pies and stews with a little bit of potatoes on the top of it or something like that, right? We talked about this, and there were people that got my page cut off and all kinds of stuff because they said I was fear mongering. But in 20 and 26, y'all, every single thing that we talked about to the T is all across the media now. And exactly what God told us they were going to say, they are saying. Stuff is 3 and 4 times more expensive. How am I supposed to do that? And I don't even have this. God literally gave us the script on what they was going to say, when it was going to be happening, how it was going to be working, that something was going to be going on every rock around here. Oh, that's only happening over there. I said, when this happens, what we are trying to prepare you for, what'll be happening here is going to be happening on the islands. What'll be happening on the islands is going to be happening on the mainland. And that's every single land mass on the planet. It is not going to be it's only happening in this place. So you not worrying about what is going on in other countries is actually doing yourself a disservice, because you won't be prepared for what is coming to you. Did we talk about this? Huh? Everybody was fine when it was just Cuba having the blackouts for the last couple of years or whatever in Venezuela when stuff was going on over there. But guess what? Now they talking about your grid about to go down. Huh? Okay.
Your family, including the pets, have a plan. Various scenarios. If the house catches on fire, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Where are we going to meet? How are we going to get there? If the house floods, same thing. If you are away from the house, state how you're going to get home and whether they should go someplace and meet with you. Like if you work at a designated location and shit hits the fan and you want to get home, is there a way they can meet you halfway? I wouldn't recommend that. But that's an example. Janet knows.
Would you hate to be hearing this right now? Be honest. If you had not taken the time to prepare for all of these things, and you are just hearing this information in the moment that we are in 2026 with everything that is happening, how would you feel about hearing that? Your cheeks would be tight. Yes. Absolutely. How would you feel? Who remembers the feeling of when we started talking? Now, some of you already was preppers. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the people that wasn't. That's what I'm talking about. The people that wasn't. Okay? You said both sets, this part. Okay? In this moment where we are right now, who remembers when you first came here, if you were not already a prepper, and you felt that sense of urgency like you needed to do this right now, and you kept thinking, I'm not going to have enough time? Anybody have that feeling when you first got over here? Hands and feet raised. Anybody else? You. Okay. You did, Rika? Hey, Isabel. You did. You definitely did. You did. You did. Could you imagine having that feeling right now? Somebody at work the other day said for the first time in almost 100 years, more people left the States than came here. I said, well, there's nowhere to run. It's what they don't realize. Do y'all see how many people are trapped in other countries and they got to pay to be there? You see it, Sarah? You said I was conflicted because I had a church mindset, but the longer I stayed here, I understood you. Oh, okay. They're being charged top dollar and sometimes money they don't have. My anxiety would be through the roof. Did God tell us that them being stuck in countries and them people might not like us, so you don't want to go get stuck over there if you can avoid it? Did he tell us? And you better hope they not. I'm watching. It's people 10 days stuck over here, and the missiles are getting closer, and it's fine in the daytime, but at night, blah, 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 blah. We thought they only did it at night. Now there's firing into Dubai in the day, and all of this. I have friends in the Navy that were just now getting back to hear from the Middle East, and this is the military. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go somewhere else. Damn, sounds good.
Food immediately. That meat in the freezer? It's thawing. Cook it now. You are cooking all perishable food immediately. That meat in the freezer? It's thawing. Cook it now. Salt it. Preserve it. You are converting raw spoilage risk into shelf-stable calories. You aren't burning money for heat like the Weimar cartoons. Modern money is polymer. It releases toxic fumes. You are burning scrap wood, old furniture, or using a kerosene heater you bought months ago. Then comes the secondary infrastructure failure. The water pumps run on electricity. As the grid flickers, the water pressure drops.
Who remembers people arguing with me about that? About the gas? Huh? Remember? I said your toilets ain't gonna work because they run on electrical pumps. Your gas ain't either. So it's not just gonna be, I don't got electric. And folks was in here arguing me down. I said, you right. You know what? We gonna move on. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's go back and see what he said.
What's the secondary infrastructure failure? The water pumps run on electricity. As the grid flickers, the water pressure drops. The tap sputters and goes dry. Now you have a sanitation crisis. You can't flush the toilet. This is where disease vectors start. In a hyperinflation scenario, cholera and dysentery make a comeback because the water treatment chemicals are imported and the city can't pay for them. You need to have your water storage already filled. The complication is that your neighbours didn't fill theirs. They are going to come knocking, asking for a cup of water, then a bucket. You have to make the hard choice, charity or security. In a collapse, hygiene is the first defence line against death, and you are now the water treatment plant for your home. 2200 hours. The city is pitch black, but it isn't quiet. You hear glass breaking a few streets over. You hear sirens, but they are distant and moving away from your neighbourhood. The police are protecting the government buildings, the banks, and the wealthy enclaves. The suburbs and the working class districts are on their own. You are sitting in your warm room, listening. Every footstep outside sounds like a threat. You realise that your home is a warehouse of value in a landscape of poverty. The food you bought this morning, the fuel, the medicine, it makes you a target. The thin sheet of glass in your window is the only thing separating your family from the desperation outside. The amateur mistake is light discipline failure. Someone turns on a flashlight and beams it through the window to check the yard. Someone cooks with a bright lantern on. You are broadcasting your location and your resources. You are a lighthouse in a dark ocean, signaling, here is fuel, here is light. The other failure is sleeping. The exhausted family goes to bed trusting the locks. Locks are for honest people. Hungry people are not honest. They are motivated. If you sleep without a watch schedule, you are gambling with your life. You implement the 2-up system. One person is awake and patrolling the interior perimeter at all times. Shifts are 2 hours long. That's all the human brain can handle before attention fades in a high-stress environment. You black out the windows completely. Cardboard, duct tape, blankets. No light escapes. You establish a fatal funnel at the entrance points. If someone kicks the door, they are forced into a narrow corridor where you have the tactical advantage. You aren't just hiding, you are actively hardening the target. You put bells or cans on the door handles, low-tech alarms. You have your defense tools staged, not locked in a safe, but staged. The goal isn't a firefight, it's deterrence. If they try the door and it holds, they move to the softer target next door. Here is the ugliest part of the timeline. The threat isn't always a stranger. It's the neighbour you've known for 10 years. The guy who borrowed your lawnmower. He knows you prep. He knows you have food. He comes to the door, begging for his kids. He isn't armed, but he is loud. He draws attention. If you help him, 5 other families will show up. If you turn him away, he becomes an enemy who knows your layout. This is the lifeboat dilemma. Hyperinflation destroys social trust faster than it destroys currency. You have to navigate this negotiation with extreme care. You give him a small amount of food, but you tell him it's your last bit. You lie. You have to lie. You project poverty while sitting on a stockpile. It is the only way to deflect the insider threat. Midnight. You have survived the first 24 hours. You have food. You have water. You are safe. But here is the reality check. Tomorrow is going to be worse. The inflation hasn't stopped. The currency you have left is worth half of what it was this morning. The shops will be emptier. The desperation outside will be louder. Hyperinflation is not a storm that passes. It is a climate change. It is a permanent alteration of the rules of life until the entire system collapses and is rebooted. You cannot pause. You cannot rest. You have to wake up at 600 and run the race again. But this time, the starting line has moved back, and the hurdles are higher. We have only covered the monetary collapse. But money is just the lubricant for the machine. When the lubricant dries up, the gears grind to a halt. The next phase isn't about prices. It's about the cessation of all services. No police, no fire trucks, no hospitals. That is a completely different set of skills. That is total grid failure. If you want to know how to survive when the money is gone and the lights go out for good, you need to be here for the next briefing. We are going to simulate the first week of a total blackout. Secure your spot now, because the timeline is accelerating, and you are running out of time to learn.
You realize that's what's happening in Cuba. They're just not talking about it. In any other place, the resources have been decimated. Huh? It's a number of places where every single thing that was described in there. Y'all don't remember the Palestinians saying they don't have nowhere to go to the restroom and all of that? You said timeline is accelerating. This year is moving indeed. We almost done with March, right? Huh? Do y'all remember? Because this is what we getting ready to face right here. All of that. If you got a yard and God is blessing you to stay, I would probably start digging my holes for my sanitation. Get a place to go get like one of those iron covers, or find something. Try to get some sawdust and whatever else that you can use. And dig deep enough if you can, okay, to have a place to store your waste. Because we bought portable toilets for a reason. Huh? Come up with your system of where that waste is going to go, and then have a lid so that at the back of the yard, or if you live close to the woods or something like that, where you can dump this daily, have a lid over it. You know, they got the heavy metal things and stuff, but dig down as far as you can and get you some stuff down in the bottom of there, so that way you don't be having to sit in the house. I would rather face that than the pedophile oppressors. I get it. I understand. I hear you. But we just, I mean, okay. You said buying an incinerating toilet is good. Okay. Thank you. An incinerating toilet. I don't know that I've ever heard of that. Mm-hmm. Oh, it came right up. Good job. Interesting. Oh, hell no. Ain't nobody got money like that. Oh, they got one for... No, I'm going to just keep my little cheap one. For those of you that got a house, maybe. But for me, I'm going to just be digging the hole. $705, $4,122, $3,599. Well, all of that is above my pay grade. Now they got one on Temu for $73, but I don't think that's just the. Listen. You live next to a river. Okay. Well, listen, however it works, I'm just saying, I ain't got $4,122 to spend on a toilet. No, that ain't going to work in my house. But we do have portable toilets. Raise your hand if you have a portable toilet, some type of portable toilet. Do you? Do you? Okay. Good job. Um, Here we go.
It's 8.3 billion people. I don't think people realize how serious this is. It's 8.3 billion people in this world. God says 2/3 of those people will be cut off. 2/3 of the people in the land will be cut off. 2/3 is around 66%. 2/3 of 8.3 billion is close to 5.5 billion people. 5.5 billion people out of 8.3 billion people will perish. Let that sink in y'all head. And just think about it. People are being born every day. People are losing their lives every day. But people are being born faster than people are leaving. The number will only go up. So the more the population increase, the number of people that will perish is going to increase. It says in Zechariah chapter 13, verse 7 through 9, awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, say the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand unto the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, say the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. For people that say that we won't be here during tribulation, 2/3 is going to be cut off, and that third that is remaining, the believers, those that are faithful, those that trust God, we will be tried, bro, like never before. We will be brought through the fire. Think about it. In tribulation, we will be tried. We will be tested. Our faith will be tested. We will suffer.
Do we have a class about the population and how many of them was going to go away, and that we needed to prepare our minds to see that? You can make a portable toilet out of a 5-gallon bucket and a pool noodle or a toilet seat. Yeah, we got some. We got a couple different kinds. I'm going to get more bags and powder for your portable toilet. Come on. Hey, Rizzy Busy. Huh? So again, we find out that another one of our classes was not just a random number class. Because now one of our classes that we talked about, however long, people are doing these same numbers now and trying to see the percentage of who ain't gonna be here. When I say he gave us the playbook, you can't go online and not hear one of our classes right now. And we got such a hard time from people about the things that we were studying, but it is all the news. I said, Dad, when I say you playered us, you did just that. Give me 1 second, y'all. It's another video I wanted y'all to see. Where did it go? Oh, here we go.
Israel has closed the. So for the first time in history, Israel has closed the site of. So for the first time in history, Israel has closed the site of Jesus' resurrection indefinitely prior. So for the first time in history, Israel has closed the site of Jesus' resurrection indefinitely prior to Easter. Never has this happened before and is a Zionist requirement for the end of the world. Breaking, Israel closes the tomb of Christ indefinitely for the first time in history of Christianity. Holy Week and Easter services will be prohibited because of this. Sunday services canceled. Church leaders call emergency meetings. So the fact that this is literally in the playbook for the end of the world, what do y'all think? Let me know your opinion. So for the first time in history,
Y'all see something fell at the Temple Mount? Could it have been Enoch? Did y'all see something fell from the heavens? Could it be Lucifer? Because my son said that the other day there was something that made it through the Milky Way that they couldn't catch, and it was big and dark. On the same day that whatever hit the Temple Mount hit the Temple Mount. You mean because the body that Lucifer, y'all didn't see him touch down at the end of days, how he crunched the ground when he hit down and in the ground, and he started moving stuff around and the flesh came on him and he was, y'all seen it. Because he getting ready to take the body, because that man is not going to be able to walk around there alone, because one of the zealots is going to unalive him. And he's going to lay there dead for 3 days. And then when he gets back up, Lucifer, would that mean Lucifer already got to be in his realm then? Is he coming from Turkey, where his seat is? Did he fly over there from Turkey and crash down, landing on the top of the Temple Mount? That's about to be his new reigning position place? Is that what's going on? Because I'm going to tell you something. 2 things. I believe there's missiles, and I believe that interdimensional beings are on this planet. It's too many stars in the sky, and they're not drones, and they're doing loop-de-loops, and they're coming in packs, because God got more than one army. And he said right before that he was going to be sending soldiers, to get ready to fight the war against evil and darkness. So do y'all think that God is just going to allow all of this to be going on and he ain't got agents on the ground? He already got boots on the ground. And I think that's what we've been seeing with all these weird lights. Hello. All these falling stars. All of these, what is that light going whoop-de-doo and it's not a drone? Huh? God is getting his warriors in position too. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the lights that we saw in the sky in 24 and 25 and it looked like a lightsaber battle wasn't Lucifer's, because remember, him and his homeboys got dominion over this area. Okay? And to get from God to us, they have to go through that kingdom of darkness, which is right above us. Huh? We gearing down to Armageddon. And this is more spiritual than it is carnal. Because this has been an age-old battle against our Father and his Son. The rebellious one. That's coming to take the throne, but he's not going to get it. He said, remember that 6 planets aligned when the Iran war started, and this year's Purim ended with a full blood moon. Listen, the crazy thing is this. That's in the days with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Y'all don't remember the Catholic Church had that big old observatory, or whatever you call that thing, observatory, on top of some mountain somewhere in the world, and they was watching, and they had the best astronomers and stuff doing the calculations under the Catholic Church in Rome, and the stars lined up, so they knew old girl Christine was about to be born, and she was going to bring Satan to earth because she was supposed to be the mother of the Antichrist. Well, of course they going to tell us that it happened when he's born and not when he's on the planet. But Lucifer still came to earth every single time that happened in whatever movie. So they told us it might have happened again when the person that was going to be his mother, this person's mother, was born. But it also is happening right now when Lucifer is literally coming to earth. Satan, whatever name you call him by. The meteor with the sonic boom in Ohio, that's somebody. Yes, it is. I mean, well, let's just look. Here we go.
This is breaking news. An Iranian missile nearly struck the holy
This was 21 hours ago.
sites in the city of Jerusalem. Missile fragments falling in the old city not far from Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Western Wall. This is breaking news. An Iranian missile...
They need the damage to the Temple Mount so that they could go ahead and put the temple up there. I'm Jewish, but I don't belong to that sect. Okay. Pretty cool. Okay. So think about this. Their Messiah is here. It's the 21st. What do you think? And the fact that he showed up in the third month is mind-blowing because 9 is divine intervention. 9 being the amount of months that all of the analysts are saying that's how much oil we have, that's how much food we would have. About 9 months. We have 9 months until the world's economy collapses completely. It's amazing that everybody is using that specific number, and this happened in the third month. And then, if I'm not mistaken, 12 is authority, right? 3 plus 9 is 12. Does that mean that by the 12th month, the world will have given over authority to this man? You said, could it be Enoch and Elijah? I hope I spelled it right. I think some of these, because God said they were coming back. They came back. What got through the Milky Way could be Enoch and it. We don't know, but we know for a fact that they're coming from heaven, so they're traveling from somewhere far away. Hello? I mean, if you believe the word, they are coming back from heaven since before the flood, right? Well, one of them. And how they gonna get here? If they're coming from outer space, and it's crazy because Israel is burning exactly like it looked in Left Behind. Everything in Left Behind is how Tel Aviv and all of those cities are looking right now. Have y'all seen it? If you see Left Behind, when that man was standing, when Enoch and them showed up, everything around there was burning. Remember, they had the armed guards out because it was chaos in the streets of Jerusalem and all of this kind of stuff. So if you look at what's going on in Tel Aviv and other places in northern Israel, and it said that the world was mad at Israel, go back and think about everything that Buck was saying. Every army in the world was going against Israel. They was mad at Israel. Da, 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 da. Is that not happening right now? People are not happy with what Israel is doing right now. So even though they was like, oh, that's a movie, and no, it didn't happen before the after the, it happened before the rapture, but every single thing in there is happening right now. You said, yes, ma'am, it's crazy how fast it's coming to pass. Okay. Do y'all remember that the rich scientist dude in the movie made a way to farm vegetables to feed the world? And now we got Bill Gates with his appeal food. It was genetically modified food there in the movie in 1999, and we have the billionaire that has genetically modified food that he's putting on. I mean, literally, it is. We have the Russian dude. We have the reporters getting killed because remember Buck's friend, they was chasing him. Remember, because he had the information that the dude was the Antichrist. Remember, and he ended up sending Buck the watch, and when he opened the watch or whatever it was, there was a disc in there, or however, whatever he sent him, and he was able to put that in the thing and found out that, oh boy, it was really the Antichrist. But the people from Israel or wherever it was, they was trying to hide it. Remember, the United Nations. You said in the show Paradise, that's how they eat in the bunker. Interesting. So a lot of Left Behind is literally on our news right now. Even how the missiles look raining down. That. You hear me? If you go look at Left Behind and look at all the video from how the Iranians are hitting Israel, it looks exactly the same. And remember, at first they were saying the Iron Dome was going to protect. And in the movie, their Iron Dome, they said some mysterious entity is protecting. All the missiles are blowing up in mid-air, and they're not reaching the city. Well, that was a movie because they're reaching. They're reaching. God talked about these cities being destroyed, right? God talked about all of these walls that were huge and fortresses being torn down. That's what's happening. Because those walls that are being torn up, some of them old walls been up since before Solomon put them up. And David. And now they being crumbled to bits on the ground. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm multitasking. I didn't want to not have class today, but I got to keep an eye on that because that pot is on high. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Nearly struck the holy.
I told you there's going to be a false flag event that looks like a Iranian sleeper cell attack, and every day it seems like we're getting closer and closer to that. DHS, Kristi Noem came out and said that the entire nation needs to be on alert for domestic terrorism. No matter what happens, this is government orchestrated. This is not the Iranians. This is how they manufacture consent to send boots on the ground into Iran. We already have 40,000 soldiers in the Middle East. Thousands of them are in Israel, ready to invade Iran. MAGA will support this because they all support foreign wars and never-ending conflicts. This is all orchestrated by Benjamin Netanyahu because the only way that he...
We're going to let that go because we don't want them to start messing with our life, but you heard it. You heard it. That's one.
Just this week, because of the war, fertilizer here locally is going to jump about $55 a ton.
This was 6 days
just
ago.
Just this week, because of the war, fertilizer here locally is going to jump about $55 a ton. So it's going to be up over $700 for urea.
Urea is a common nitrogen fertilizer used in crops like wheat and barley. But Sommerfeld said the current price pressure didn't start with the conflict.
But that's been a problem even before this started because of consolidation in the industry. This is just making it worse.
The global nature of agriculture also means events half a world away can quickly impact markets locally.
Even as big as we think we are in agriculture, because of consolidation in the industry, this is just making it worse.
The global nature of agriculture also means events half a world away can quickly impact markets locally.
Even as big as we think we are in agriculture, India, China, Brazil are major players. We're about number 4 right now. So when it comes to these kind of things,
do we study about those places and what they import over here to America? And if we get into it with them, what we wouldn't have? Huh? Do we go look up what is imported from all of those countries? Where the wheat come from? Where the seasonings come from? Where does most of how the noodles get back over here? Well, we found out we ship the wheat, they make it, they send it back, and we pay this price for it. All of these things, okay? God had us paying attention to, so when we saw it in the news, we would know what we was looking at. Look here.
get top billing.
For farmers, higher fertilizer prices can directly impact how much they apply and what they plant.
But with it being dry, you're probably going to see guys cut back on their fertilizer use to add protein in bushels on just because of the cost.
In some cases, producers may also shift to crops that require less of these resources.
I already last fall decided to go with lower fertilizer use crops like barley versus spring wheat.
But supply could also become a rising issue if global shipping or production continues to be disrupted.
I already last fall lower fertilizer use crops like barley versus spring wheat.
But supply could also become a rising issue if global shipping or production continues to be disrupted.
I already last fall decided to go with lower fertilizer use crops like barley versus spring wheat.
Sommerfeld says right now the biggest challenge for producers is simply the unknown.
Uncertainty is driving the costs higher on everything that we see right now. So they're raising prices to cover that cost, and it's hurting us.
While most farmers planned production for this spring late last year, they are continuing to watch markets closely as costs continue to rise. In Great Falls, Madison Collier, NTN.
How many of you bought wheat berries or some type of grain in the last couple of years since you've been here that you can mill yourself or grow or whatever, corn, whatever? How many of you bought some type of grain that you could use as a flour or to make bread? Anybody? You did? If you learned to make bread, that right there is why God told us to do so. Ain't that crazy? Because he knew they wasn't going to be able to plant no wheat, no corn. There wasn't going to be enough fertilizer. So what we were used to eating, it wouldn't be here. And it would be here before the mark. Do you see? Okay. I got you. You hear me? Do you understand? Hmm? God told us. He told us to buy wheat, cornmeal, flour, all of those different things because he knew for a fact that either it wasn't going to be growing, it wasn't going to be able to get over here because there's not enough gas. Uh, he said pasta can be used too. Thank you. You hear me? If you've been playing about getting to the food bank, please do. Please go. I don't care what it is. Because if you're hungry enough, you will eat anything. Okay? If you can avoid eating out and taking that money and making some food at home and taking those extra 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, $50 to go get some stuff for now, you said I was given 30 gallons of wheat berries. Come on. Come on. You can grow some and you can use some. It's one more I wanted to show y'all. Young guy, he was in a truck. Mm. That's crazy. Oh, here it go. I think this is it.
You know, everybody be in my comment.
No, that's not it. He had on a hat. That's interesting that that video is gone. Really? Oh, there we go. Here we go.
I'm not one to fearmonger, but I do believe that this is something that everyone should take into consideration when talking about the state of affairs. So I've been listening to a lot of people's takes and how, you know, the fuel prices will affect certain things, but I don't think people really understand the magnitude of how this is going to play out. And see, I've been a truck driver for 8 years. I've been a container driver for about 4 years, and I'm seeing a lot of shifts in the container side of trucking. And when it comes to fuel is getting up there in almost $6 per gallon for diesel. And people are saying that if oil gets up to $300 a barrel, that's going to equate to about $15 per gallon. And do you know what $15 per gallon for an 18-wheeler will cost? You're going to see a lot of companies, small companies, big companies, go out of business. They're going to take their losses and they're going to get out of Dodge. And it's going to happen rather quick.
Can you tell me if you know what I went to school for? And what I told y'all when I first came over here? Do y'all hear that? It's so weird. Do y'all know? Anybody know? Anybody? Do you remember trucking? And what did I tell y'all God told me? In the beginning of this, 4 years ago now. I got out of school in February of 22. At $2.30 a gallon of gas. You said 300 to fill. At $2.30 a gallon, my bus costs about 300 to fill. Wow. Wow. That there wasn't going to be any trucks moving. No, because they wouldn't be moving. What are we hearing now? I'm gonna run to the restroom. I checked on my stuff. We gonna talk about it when I come back.
So when you have a shortage of trucks moving product, you're going to have a lot. It's going to take a lot more time for that product to get on the shelves because there are only going to be a couple of companies that's going to be able to move this stuff. And I was just in a driver's meeting 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I was in a driver's meeting about 2 weeks ago, and these companies that ship their products to the U.S., they're stopping. They're stopping solely off of fuel. Because once the fuel goes up, then the companies hauling said products have to charge accordingly to ship to move that product to wherever it has to go. And a lot of companies are they are getting rid of their contracts with a lot of these companies. So a lot of these companies are losing contracts due to fuel. So not only will you have a large amount of companies going out of business strictly on fuel, but you're going to have a longer time for said materials to get to us due to no one being able to move it. So with that being said, I would rather you play it safe than sorry and start stacking up the stuff that you need to get, that you normally get, because I'm not saying that it's going to be a desert out here, right? But it might just be a desert out here. It's definitely about to be a hard time for a lot of trucking companies, especially your small 1 to 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 trucks. It's going to be a hard time for them. It's going to be hard for your mid-sized companies. It's going to be hard, very hard for your larger companies as well. So at the end of the day, to the truckers, know when to hold and when to fold. Pretty much it. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Huh? What in there did God not tell us in 22 and 23? Didn't he tell us? Everything that young man said in there. He told us to prepare for that in 22 and 23 and 24. Yes or no? We even had truckers that got out of the trucking business and went back to other jobs. Huh? They got out of the logistics business and did something else. So again, in this moment, y'all, I know God does not lie to me. I know that. But it's still mind-blowing to hear it all happening at one time. All of it. You hear me? For God to prepare us for each and everything that was coming this way is, I could see if it was one thing or two things. No, the toilets, everything. Everything. The beings, everything. It ain't nothing that he didn't prepare us for in this moment that I can see. I mean, maybe y'all see something else. But even for us to pay attention to the Antichrist and the dates and so yeah, sometimes I be tripping because we just have class and didn't know that he was feeding us all the goods. Hello. Every last bit of the goods. For every, even to buy wheat and corn because the grains were not going to be able to grow. To dehydrate the vegetables because they weren't going to grow. You can't grow vegetables without fertilizer. You said everything down to the dates. Come on. You said beans is the best crop. It's a natural nitrogen fixer and it's full of iron and protein. Thank you so much. I say it all the time. I'm beyond appreciative of this space. Listen, I'm beyond appreciative that the Lord, and then He had all of us from different places around the world telling us what was going on so that we could know what was coming our way. I mean, you said 4 years down to a T. That's mind blowing. Tatiana. And in the month, he could have came out in August. He told us be looking. We should see him. I'm about to show you something. Everybody's talking about communication and how will you communicate when the grid goes down, and you need to have a map just in case. All of the stuff that God had been telling us. And I'm not saying it like, oh, I'm just saying, I know when y'all watch TV, y'all mouth drop open or something. You be like, what the heck? This is literally our class. And I'm not saying it like, oh, because I'm saying it wasn't nothing He didn't prepare us for. Okay? Down to, I don't know, what to look for, everything. So I kind of been walking around in awe a little bit, right? Because thank you, first of all, for choosing us to know. That's an honor in itself. He didn't have to tell us nothing. He could have let us all be caught off guard like a lot of these people around the world right now. You hear me? Fertilizing short problem plant, squash and beans together. The beans act as a fertilizer. Thank you. We ain't gonna be able to grow nothing outside in a minute. And I be mind blowing. You said, and it be mind blowing. You said when I go to the store and hear people talking about it, I'm like, you said I don't like to tell myself. This family talked about it. This class has been like an encyclopedia with an extended clip. Listen, Dad prepared his tribulation for the TBF. Listen, that's it. I'm in awe. Yes. You said the Lord brings the people with His Spirit together when He wants. That's right. That's right. So I'm not going to keep y'all today because I don't want to have to keep running back and forth. I did want to get on here and show my face. I don't know if we'll have class because after this whole lifting these heavy pots of water and keeping an eye on it, I ain't ate nothing either. I've been working and talking to the kids and all that kind of stuff. But I would say learn how to make milk from something else. Because if there's no grains, there's no cows. If there's no cows, there's no meat and no milk. Right? So you need to find a million different ways and then have the stuff to make several types of milk. Try out small batches right now that you can substitute in your breads and whatever else. Whatever chia seed milk, whatever you use. Another option, love you too, Sarah. Another option to make milk. Okay? Almonds, vanilla. You said almonds, walnuts, milk, etc. Right. And I know some people make it out of other stuff. I don't know. Rice, whatever. Whatever you're going to make it out of. You need to have those things and try out a small batch now so you can know what you need to do. Write your recipe down, whatever. Because without grains, they can't feed the animals. And without that, we don't eat. You said I missed class today, but I'll enjoy the rewatch. Yeah, we ain't doing too much on here. Just talk. It was more of updates of all the things that are happening, and confirming everything that God told us to prep for. That's it. Cause I'm water bathing some chicken, so I don't want to keep running back and forth, and just making y'all listen to videos that y'all can do on your own. But I'll try to get back on tonight if I can, cause I'll take a nap, or it'll be later. Because I know after I lay down at 7, I'm probably going to sleep till about 10. So it might be a midnight class or something. I don't know. Because I'm sleepy and I got 3 hours to go for this chicken to get done. And I don't know why I keep doing it while I'm sleepy. I'll be getting up in the morning starting it. But by the middle of the process, I'll be ready to lay down. So I love y'all. I will talk to y'all a little bit later. Hopefully. If not, in the morning. But I should do a class. If I go to sleep, I don't want to be up. So and then I'll be doing my last batch of that. So I should talk to y'all in a little bit. Okay? Happy Saturday. Mm-hmm.